Oh, extra first. He was the extra first. Probably what happened was most likely what happened when I opened up the stream. When I opened up the stream, I had some Lil Wayne playing, some Wheezy playing. So I guess it caught up to that. I don't know if there's new rules about stuff or whatever. But the bottom line is that we are back. And two also as well. Um I'm getting I've recently got some new opportunities and I'm just making more money, not just to pay my bills, but also to pay for things. You feel me? Like I got stuff to pay for. So as this community continues to grow, ultimately what's gonna end up happening is I'll end up streaming on a variety of platforms in a variety of different ways. Because different platforms allow for different types of usage. Um, but at the end of the day, as that happens, I'm gonna have a team around me, like people like editors and stuff, because I'm not, I can't do everything. You feel me? Like so, I'm not about to be operating all that shit, but it's good. Basically, what I'm getting at is we will find a way to get around the algo. But it's all good. It's probably the song I was playing in the beginning. That's most likely what it was. But here we go. Former President Trump early Friday today dismissed CNN reporting that employees at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida may be called upon by federal prosecutors to testify in the upcoming criminal trial about classified documents. Quote, fake news CNN just did a story leaked by deranged prosecutor Jack Smith and his massive team of radical left lunatics that various hold on, wait. This is Trump speaking, so I'm tripping right now. I got to read it in my Trump voice. You feel me? I got to make it in that Trump voice. Hold up. Hold on. Okay, bet. Yeah. When Mike Boy's album drops, we gonna go ahead and we gonna use that because we gonna have the special deals in place with the royalties and shit. So we gonna be all right. You feel me? You said he's still talking shit at the other stream. How blur you? I mean, shit. As things continue to grow, I'm sure I will. But I mean, like at the end of the day, like there's me and the things that are surrounded around my brand, and then also like I'm starting a nonprofit. We're starting a nonprofit, but like I'm not the face of that, nor will I be the face of it. Like, so like there's a variety of things. So yeah, like this will have its own website, that will have its own website, but I'm not gonna like publicly attach everything to my face because one, it's not a good look. It doesn't work. You feel me? One, everything isn't about me, but two, like when you start a bunch of stuff and you make yourself the face of it, you look like that's what you're doing. So like it's so yeah. Hello, we got Christina. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Wait, oh, and two, how's everything going with you? How's the new job? How's everything coming? You said I love you guys. We have the best show and best chat on YouTube. Have a great day and be safe. Well, we love you too. Thank you for being here. How's everything going with you? What's new? How's a new job going? And again, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. And thank you everybody for being here. Uh okay, so Trump says
Fake news CNN just did a story leaked by deranged prosecutor Jack Smith and his massive team of radical left lunatics.
bro, he's so tight. Like, bro, it's so like this dude is just so old. You feel me? Like this shit is just mad old. Uh,
Fake news CNN just did a story leaked by deranged prosecutor Jack Smith and it.
please go away. I'm busy.
That various people saw papers and boxes at a Mar-a-Lago.
Trump posted on his social media platform, Truth Social. Had to. I'm sorry. I had to do that. You feel me? Like, cause I didn't really want to get up. All right. Let's see. Where was I?
They may have been the boxes, etc., that were openly and plainly brought from the White House, as is my right under the President Records Act.
Like pushing the boundary and it's my right to do that. Like, bro, bro, you 80 years old. You about to be 80 years old, bro. Like, just shut up. Like, just you like, bro, this dude is broken. Donald Trump is a broken human being. Like, he just can't function right. He really can't. Oh shit. Let's see. Where were we? Yeah, we having fun today. Um, CNN. We having a good ass time. But yeah, I think the Lil Wayne. I think playing that Lil Wayne at the beginning is what shut down the stream. So apparently, some people who worked at Mar-a-Lago may testify against Trump, or that's getting ready to happen. And it's just like, bro, like this dude is just he's losing so badly in court. Like he's losing so bad. And then his lawyer, Lena Haba, comes out and their whole defense is just it's not fair. And everything, nothing's fair. Like, but they getting their asses whooped in court, bro. Like, shit crazy. Let's see. You sound like a surrogate right now. Newsmax host, not so sure Ramaswamy is serious about challenging Trump. Oh, so a Newsmax is saying this to him. Well, we all knew that he wasn't serious about challenging Trump, but let's see what the Newsmax guy says.
I want to ask you about that, though. At this point, we're 2 months from Iowa, and Trump is still dominating this thing. I often wonder what your motivations are in this moment because it just feels like Trump's got this as a candidate. How do you compute that reality?
Well, I'll say a couple of things. The other candidates all want to sit there and Monday morning quarterback Donald Trump on some small thing after most of them were licking his boots not that long ago for favors and endorsements and money. That's pathetic. And I wasn't doing that.
Oh, that's pathetic. But what I'm doing is not pathetic. I'm licking his boots right now. They were licking his boots before. And now that they stopped, that's pathetic. I'm doing it now. That's not pathetic.
For the last several years, I wasn't in politics. I was building businesses. But on the flip side, as they're second guessing Trump, I'm actually being very honest. He was an excellent president. The reason he's doing so well in the polls is that he kept us out of wars and he grew the economy. That's the answer.
So
he
you're
sets
not,
a high bar.
You're
but
not trying to take this thing from him. Then I mean, you sound like a surrogate right now. You're not trying to take it from him.
Well, I aim to exceed that high bar. Okay, and I have something that Donald Trump doesn't. I have fresh legs. I come from a different generation. So there are two America First candidates in this race. There's Donald Trump and myself. And the voters, I think, can face a choice. Do you want somebody who
America's never gonna like this dude ever? And I look, listen, Republicans may like to hear him speak. They may like to hear him talk. You feel me? Stuff like that. But they not gonna vote for this dude for a variety of reasons. But one of them is because everybody sees through this man. Honestly, bruh, like his presidential run was so unnecessary. Like, what are you doing any of this for? Like, why? Like you have enough money and enough financial and business power to do whatever you want. Like, what are you doing?
comes from that prior generation with experience. I can't claim to have that experience. But I think in this moment more than ever, we need somebody with fresh legs from the next generation to reach young Americans. And nobody is reaching that next generation like I am. In the Republican Party, I don't think anybody's done it in the history of our party, reaching young Americans in the way we are. And if we're to revive this country, national pride, yes, we're going to have to reach that next generation. And I think
People just find him entertaining. Like I said, like Republicans might like to hear him speak. They may like to hear him kiss Trump's ass, but they're not gonna vote for him. And he he has a podcast now. Well, I guess it worked for him, but still, it's just like imagine. And I think we watched some clips before where they were some people who used to be in school with him who said he's always been like this. Like this is just who he is. But it's just like um this dude like had this broad plan. Like I want to be famous. Like oftentimes, even for someone like me, like a lot of why I'm doing things to make myself known is because I have to have a successful career. But like this dude was already good, and he's like, I want to be famous and I want people to talk about me. And look what he's doing with it. Like he's just being a corny douchebag, but that's who he is. So that's who he's gonna be. But yeah, he's just like he's just a dork. And by dork, he's just like Trump hits back at CNN report by admitting, of course, his staff saw documents lying around Mar-a-Lago.
Good evening. First, it was the IT guy. Now members of the Mar-a-Lago household staff might also end up testifying against the boss. That's what multiple people familiar with Special Counsel Jack Smith's classified documents investigation are telling us, and it's
I just can't stop laughing because, again, all of this is so unnecessary. Like, why is Trump in any of these situations at all? Like, what is wrong with this dude? Like, why are you facing this right now? He's so stupid.
CNN exclusive. They say federal prosecutors may call as witnesses a plumber, a maid who cleaned the former president's bedroom, a chauffeur, and a woodworker. People who might not get a lot of attention on a Trump property, but who see and hear a lot on the job. People who CNN has also learned have already been talking in detail to investigators. They're now likely witnesses. So are Secret Service agents, sources tell us, and others who were in the room when the former president was captured on multiple recordings, apparently showing off a classified military document about bombing Iran.
Oh yeah, what I was getting at in terms of just utilizing this celebrity culture is like it's just like at the end of the day, it's a means to an end. But for him, it's not. Like you're not like bro, like you. What are you doing? Like what is he doing? Why are you doing this shit?
Wait a minute, let's see here.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, Except it is like highly confidential.
Yeah.
See, as president, I could have did less of it, but now I can't, but this is classic.
Now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so, we here and I have, and you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
you.
incredible, right?
No,
Hey, bring some Cokes in, please.
Bring some Cokes in.
We don't know who brought the Cokes, but you'll remember
Please bring in some Cokes. He's so funny, bro. Like he's not funny, but he is. And some of why he's so funny is because he's so unintelligent. He's so dumb.
that Walt Nauta, the man who once served as former president's White House valet and who still works for him, is now a co-defendant in the documents case. Join us now, sharing a byline on The Exclusive, CNN's Caitlin Polantz. Caitlin, so what more do you know about who might be called to testify?
Anderson, it very well could be the person who brought the Cokes. We don't know who it was, but it could be that person. What we do know, though, is that there is a long list of potential witnesses in this case that we've been able to cobble together, and they are people that are notable people around Donald Trump during his presidency, after his presidency, at his club. But there are also people who are moving in and out of the club who might not have been.
Blair, you thank you so much for the $5 super chat. You said I play the saxophone. I don't. My boy Mike Boy, he's a musician. I think he plays the trumpet. I believe. But yes, no, my man's Mike Boy, he played. But no, I'm not a musician. Cool, but I guess I am at the same time. I don't know. Who knows? But thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of y'all. Yeah, we got to get the cocaine. Don Jr. That boy can't stay off the cocaine.
That noticed by the club visitors who were there, or even Trump himself, but they were people who noticed things. And the things that they noticed, we heard about a woodworker, for instance, someone who was installing crown molding in Trump's.
Oh, the snaxophone. Oh, I get it now. Oh, thank you. The snacks and phone. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna have to make that an emoji. I'm gonna make that one of the emojis. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a snacks and phone, like my face at the bottom of a saxophone. I don't know. We gonna find out. But no, that's gonna be some cool shit. Cause I do need to make a bunch of new emojis and shit for the members. That's what I'm gonna do.
bedroom, and that person noticed a stack of documents that looked rather suspicious, so suspicious to him that he thought they were movie props, looked like classified records of some sort. That person, we were told, doesn't actually know what he saw, but this is the sort of person who could be called to testify at this trial in Florida to provide the picture of what it was like around Mar-a-Lago, where all of these images that we've seen in photographs exist of documents and boxes. And there were real people there in these spaces moving about, a maid, a plumber, a chauffeur as well, knowing that something was off and thinking about that and then relaying that to investigators.
Have prosecutors laid out why they think these individuals would be good witnesses?
They haven't, Anderson, and we don't know whether they will for sure be called to testify in this case. They might not be, but our understanding is that they are people that spoke to investigators, some of them multiple times. Some of them testified before a grand jury in this case. And
They're gonna have much. I mean, the people who have flipped on Donald Trump. I mean, well, that shit, that's in the Georgia case. Look, bro, this dude got all these cases. You can't even keep up with him. Like, oh, actually, oh, that's a different case. We're talking about the documents one, and then the Georgia election fraud. Like, bro, like he would be so much happier if he never became president. Like, so much happier. Right, right, exactly, Alonzo, exactly. Like my dude, he gonna take all these boxes as if he sits down and actually goes through them, like, because he has to study and like learn. You feel me? Like all the intricacies of the government. Didn't they say that they have like one pagers for him and stuff? Like, bro, Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble, man. Like Jesus Christ. Okay, Vivek. Which one we on now? Hold on, I don't have it pulled up. I'm trying to see what's up. Vivek Ramaswamy called clown face after CNN's Caitlin Collins presses GOP candidate over Ohio abortion rights. Okay, here we go. Let me bring this one up real quick. Let me bring it up. Yeah.
Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, also from Ohio. We just made a key race alert there. Obviously, Vivek, voters there voting yes on issue 1 to enshrine the right to an abortion in the state's constitution. Do you think that's a warning sign for Republicans?
Look, I voted no on that earlier today before flying down here to Miami, but
you know what's so stupid about ridiculous about this, Donald? He doesn't even have to be in this position at all. If he just would never, he would have just dropped out of the race in 2016 on time, or just done something, you feel me, or just not done any of this extra bullshit. Like, bro, like, he does not have to be in this position whatsoever. Look, listen, that's why I said, look, it's sometimes life is rough. Life is a struggle. Life can be beautiful. Life is a beautiful struggle. But look, at least you ain't in Donald Trump's position. Because just imagine what it's like to be in his shoes. Oh God, no, thank you.
my view is on the merits, our pro-life movement, and I am part of it, needs to be better about the way we discuss this issue. Actually talk about greater access to adoption, to childcare, further, even go further to sexual responsibility for men. I think that too few of us are talking about these issues that can say we're not in this. It's not about a men's rights versus women's rights issue.
And nobody talks about sexual responsibility. Nobody at all. You know, well, why even have abortion rights? You know, if people were just a little more responsible, shut up.
It's a human rights issue. The fact of the matter is, Clarence Thomas brought up an example in the Dobbs case of a pregnant woman who was assaulted, and asks the question of who in this country would say that that criminal doesn't deserve liability for that death. I haven't met one yet, Caitlin. And so I think we're more united on the pro-life instincts than the pro-life movement has actually been good at representing so far. But we need to talk about the issue very differently in order to bring people along here. I will say that it was also outspent in Ohio by many multiples, the yes versus no. And so the influence of money in politics, I think, showed up in this result as well.
Well, a lot of money was spent on the other side, but do you really think it's a messaging issue and not just that voters?
He speaks so matter-of-factly, and he's just like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's a losing issue. That's it. Like I'm 38 years old and I don't want women to have access to abortion. Like, dude, shut up. Go back to your biotech shit. Like,
Voters clearly believe that they should have the rights that they had before Roe versus Wade was overturned.
Well, I think some of this is substance. It's not just messaging. Actually being walking the walk when it comes to being pro-life on access to contraception, to adoption, to even childcare. And as I said, a missing lever that we really ought to embrace on the right is greater sexual responsibility for men codified in the law in an era of genetic paternity tests. Put more of a burden, financially and otherwise, on the father when it's a confirmed paternity test. I think those are winning paths forward for us. That combined with different messaging, yes, I do believe will win many Americans over. If you look at a state,
bro, the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade fucked Republicans so hard, bro. Like, cause they can't just reverse it. They can't snap their fingers and take it back. And then again, it's how adamant they were about it. You know, they wanted to return it to the states' rights. And then, you know, despite the fact that voters are showing, no, we don't want 6-week bans. We don't want 12. We don't want these bans. Republican politicians are like, well, we're going to pass them anyway. Like, bruh, like you can't. And they're trying to reframe it. Like, what do you like? I'm telling you, bruh, like this is like what Republicans did to themselves with this. It's like they stabbed themselves and they're just bleeding. Like they're just dripping. They're just wounded. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was such a bad political decision and so unnecessary.
like Iowa, not that different in many respects than Ohio. I mean, they're very different states, but when you look at a red versus blue divide, Iowa went for a 6-week ban with growing majorities for the legislators who supported it. So I do think the framing and the messaging and the context actually does
But
matter.
Iowa
I don't think this
is-
should be a sign that the Republican Party should abandon a pro-life position.
Iowa is Iowa, home to a lot of evangelicals. I mean, Ohio is a deeply red state. You don't think this is a sign that your party's on the wrong side of the abortion issue?
What's he gonna say?
I think it is a sign that the Republican Party needs to graduate in how not only we talk about this issue, but putting substance into what it means to be pro-life. And I, for my part, am doing that. I think I'm the only candidate talking about codifying in the law greater sexual responsibility for men.
What does
But I
that
think the less we
mean?
make
But
this
is that
about
what
men's
voters
rights
want,
versus
you
women's
think?
rights, but really in substance, say we're all in this together. I think so. I think so,
Over a
absolutely. And it's going
right
to be up
to
to the
an
voters
abortion?
to decide. It should be driven by the states. And so it's up to the people to speak up at the state level. But I do think that if we frame this issue correctly, this need not be some sort of final sign that we take. This was a lost battle in Ohio.
Yeah, Alonzo. He's just like he's just fun for Republicans. Oh, he's fun. I like him. That's all he is to Republicans.
I'm disappointed about that. I think there are deep reflections in the Republican Party and in the pro-life movement about how to improve from here. But abandoning the pro-life cause, I don't think is the right answer. I think the right answer is opening up other ways where we can walk the walk in terms of being pro-life, from adoption to contraception to sexual responsibility for men codified in the law. And I
So-
favor all of those things.
Just to be clear, you think the issue is how Republicans are talking about abortion, are talking about contraception and adoption, not the actual issue of being against abortion access?
Not just talking about it, as I mentioned, Caitlin, but I think being willing to stand for substantive provisions in the law that codify greater responsibility for men in cases of confirmed paternity tests, and also greater access to options like contraception, adoption, and otherwise. So I think that substantive difference can make a difference. It's not just a verbal question. But yes, I do think that that will change the outcomes versus what we're seeing tonight.
And again, how can Republicans even how could they just abandon their anti-abortion stances? Like, how could they abandon that? Like, bro, like this is a wound that just keeps bleeding. It's not gonna stop bleeding. It's like these motherfuckers got like they got hemophilia. You know what I'm saying? Like they just got cut and it's just dripping and dripping and dripping. Like, so a horrible political decision.
Yeah, well, clearly voters in Ohio disagreed since they just voted to pass this that they did vote to pass this. Indeed, it now is part of the state's Constitution. You talked about how this is a state's issue. Obviously, you're running to be the Republican candidate for president. If you were president, would you sign a federal abortion ban into law if it was on your desk?
I've been crystal clear about this. I would not. And the reason why is I'm a 10th Amendment absolutist. I practice what I preach in my commitment to the Constitution. This should not be a federal issue. So here's what I do from a federal perspective. Stop federal funding for Planned Parenthood. I think the federal government has no place in tilting the scales using money. But I do not think it is the place of the federal government to get involved in either codifying Roe versus Wade into law. But unlike many other Republican candidates, I stand on the side of principle because that's a constitutional limit. Roe versus Wade was correctly overturned, but we have to practice what we preach when it comes to the Constitution. This is an issue for the states. And I say this as somebody who's disappointed by the outcome in Ohio today. But for me, it is about principle over politics when it comes to my commitment to the Constitution. I also think that if we federalize this issue as Republicans, when the shoe fits the other foot and Democrats are in charge, it will not go well for the pro-life cause at the federal level either. More babies, unborn babies will die over the next 30 years, I believe, if this issue is federalized.
I will
So
say,
stand by that.
Mr. Ramaswamy, that Donald Trump predicted, put those Supreme Court justices in place that overturned Roe versus Wade, that this is hurting Republicans at the ballot box. But we have other news about another race in your home state. I want you to stand by for just a moment. We're going to get that update, and then we'll come back to you in just a moment.
We have a new projection for you from Ohio. CNN is projecting that Ohioans have approved a ballot measure to legalize recreational marijuana use.
What's he going to say about this?
Ohio becomes the 24th state in the nation to make recreational pot use legal. Again, CNN projects the Ohio ballot initiative on marijuana has been approved.
Well,
Caitlin?
Mr. Ramaswamy, we were just talking about how you voted.
Look, man, this is an issue that honestly Republicans need to get the fuck behind recreational marijuana legalization. The tax code needs to be changed regardless. Corporations and the ultra wealthy in this country need to be able to give more of their capital to the IRS. You know what I'm saying? That still needs to happen. However, the more money we can get elsewhere, the less money we're going to be forced to take away from corporations and the ultra wealthy. So like it just makes sense, and they're just inherently against the idea of taxation. But it's just greed. It's just greed. That's all it is. Short-term thinking and greed.
On issue 1, the abortion rights issue. How did you vote on the marijuana issue this morning?
I voted no on that one specifically for two reasons. One is I think it's an abandonment of the rule of law when you have one set of rules at the federal level, but state laws that contradict federal law.
I'm so principled that I'm willing to not make any goddamn sense. That's how principled I am. I can't shift whatsoever. Sometimes you got to add room for nuance. But I'm 38 years old and I voted no on marijuana legalization because principle.
I don't think that helps our commitment to the rule of law. I think it creates a lot of confusion in this country.
What?
And also the tax proceeds here were directed towards purposes that I think have no place, equity programs or otherwise, that are completely irrelevant to the measure at issue. So having studied it, I came down on the side of no, but I did hear the update that you just provided. And, at the end of the day, we live in a constitutional republic. That means we live by what the people vote for according to the rules of that constitutional republic. And so that is what it is. And I understand that.
So I mean, by that logic, there's no point in ever trying to change anything. By that logic, no change whatsoever, ever, no matter what. Like, he's so inauthentic. He's so disingenuous. This is all fake. This is all bullshit.
Disagree with the outcome that was reached.
Do you feel out of touch with your other Ohioans, and given the fact that you voted no on the abortion rights issue and you voted no on the marijuana issue, and both have passed?
I mean, we're talking about 40+% in each case. So I think to call that out of touch with Ohioans, I think is out of touch, Caitlin, with all due respect. We do have issues we need to sort out in this country. Yeah, I don't think you're asking my thoughts. You're asking me if I feel out of touch because I sided with 45% of people rather than 55% of people, or wherever the numbers end up shaking out. The reality is I think we have legitimate substantive debates we ought to have in this.
Right, it's so easy to see through him. He's one of those guys. He just surrounds himself with people who won't challenge him, who won't question him, and who will let him bully them, because he's so like he's just so weak. He's just a weak person. Like, he shuts down, he breaks down really easily. And one of the reasons that he breaks down really easily is because he's so full of shit. Like, when you're really full of shit and when you're a super fake person, it doesn't take much to break you down. Oh, God, with all due respect. Oh, like, bruh. And she's sitting there thinking, I would never date this guy. Not that that's literally what she's thinking, but it's just funny how, it's like, what are you doing this for? Like, it's like you're trying to be popular and you're trying to be liked, and people don't like you. You feel me? It's like I just how vindicated she feels because look at her, bro. She knows she getting under his skin. She getting under his skin, and she like, ha. This man. Oh, this dude.
This country. My view is let's have them respectfully in the open where every citizen's voice and vote counts equally. And you know what? That's the way a constitutional republic works. Our side, I think, needs to do a better job of not only how we message, but how we stand for the substance of our principles. I think there's a reasonable conversation to be had about at the federal level about how we evolve our drug laws. But I think the disconnect between state level laws that are drastically different than the federal laws create confusion and create, I would say, an abandonment of the culture of the rule of law in this country. And that's why I voted.
Oh, no, I think Trump is way more likable than Vivek. Trump is very likable. Shit, Vivek, he's not, especially like when you look at Trump in 2016, Trump is charismatic, he's funny, you know what I'm saying? He seems like he's got all his shit together, like especially with the Apprentice image. But Vivek is like, just like, he's not able to do that. Like, he's just like a type of dude. Like, I don't think he has that same charm that Donald Trump had with other people, at least the way I see it. He just seems to be somebody who's just like, he's just ugh. And Trump is just like, he's entertaining. You feel me? Which is a shame that that's like his whole sale, but he's just entertaining to people. He makes me laugh. Oh, he really sticks it to those libs. Like, that's all he is. Hold on, let's see what's up with this. Okay, so some GOP governor. Let's see what's up. Oh yes, well, he's a very loathsome human being. That's undeniable. That can't be denied. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's certainly a loathsome, terrible motherfucker. Absolutely.
Ambassador Nikki Haley about Governor DeSantis, and I'm so glad you came on the show this morning to endorse one of them. Where is your endorsement going?
Well, look, I don't know who I'm endorsing yet. I can tell you, I think not yet. If I endorse today, you'll never ask me back on the show, right?
This is unequivocally not the case, Governor.
Well, look, I think there's clearly, if you go back 3 months ago, there were like 13 candidates in the race. I think you can effectively say there's 3 that have a shot here. And those are the 3 governors, Christie, Haley, and DeSantis, the 3 that clearly did the best on the debate stage the other night. 5 on the debate stage, 3 governors are really pushing hard. Their numbers are actually moving a bit in Iowa, New Hampshire. And I think that's where a lot of the emphasis and focus is going to be. You can see a lot of the consolidation there. And if you get past New Hampshire and you get consolidated behind one, well, there it is. So folks said we weren't going to consolidate the field, but we are. As a party, we really are consolidating the field, and they're really being forced to engage, not for 10 minutes in a debate, but for 20 or 30 minutes and get into those details that Americans want to see.
The governor likes the governors. Check, I got it. But here's what you said about Vivek Ramaswamy, the business guy. This was July. Here it is.
Man, if Ted Cruz ends up running for president in 2028, it's just good. Like, the whole country's just gonna make fun of him, and it'll be a great time. It'll really be a lot of fun. So I hope that he does run for president in 2028, because first of all, he's not gonna win. That ain't happening. He won't even win the Republican primaries. But yes, the whole country will unite together to make fun of Ted Cruz, you know. And sometimes if we can all come together at least for something, you know, that's better than nothing, right? Okay, let's see what's up. Okay, so Biden and Xi Jinping are going to meet in San Francisco. They're getting ready to meet up, so we'll see what's up with that and what the results of that later. If anything significant comes from that, I will keep my eyes on it. Trump flips out on Jack Smith over leaked Mar-a-Lago employee witness report. And it's like, again, it's like he's saying all this out loud, but in court, he's getting his ass kicked. Yes, Ted Cruz has absolutely no charisma whatsoever. Like, he's nothing more than a button in a machine. That's all Ted Cruz is a button in a machine. Okay. So what did he say on Friday morning? This morning, what time this morning? At 4 or 5 in the morning, Donald Trump lashed out at special counsel Jack Smith, claiming the Department of Justice prosecutor leaked a report about Mar-a-Lago employees providing evidence of stolen documents seen at their place of work. As CNN reported, quote, a plumber, a maid, a chauffeur, and a woodworker are among Mar-a-Lago staffers and contract workers who federal prosecutors may call to testify against former President Donald Trump. That appears to have triggered him. So he goes to Truth Social. I mean, bro, he's such a loser, bro. Like, and again, like, Donald Trump posts more to social media than like anybody that any of us have ever seen. Like, even when I on days where I post more than others, like, I mean, how much am I really posting to my stories on IG? Maybe I'll eat on like the most posted day, what, 15 posts? Not, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I probably won't even have that much up. Bro, Donald Trump be making like 70 posts, 45 posts, 50